Wait, what the hell? You used to be able to do this?
Yeah, dude. Look at that. I could stroke it.
Yeah, I get that. But you could play professional basketball,
I could
dude.
play professional basketball, but now I have 3 companies, bro. Come on. Get off my
You
back.
better do some explaining, man. That's freaking
Alright,
crazy.
I'm gonna explain to these people why the heck. Man, shut up! Alright, so you're probably wondering why someone like me, who played Division I college basketball, could have played professional basketball, decides to quit all that, stay in Pittsburgh, and start 3 companies in the space of a year, 3 online businesses. If you're not wondering, that's okay. But I'm gonna walk you guys through my story. I honestly think it's an interesting story. It's an entrepreneurial story. I think you guys maybe can learn something out of it. I don't know, but I'm just gonna do this. So I hope you guys like this. Honestly, this is my story. So let's start from the beginning. Check this out. Look at me. Look at how cute I was. Oh geez, I was cute. But yeah, I couldn't find a picture of when I was. That's me at Northwestern. We'll get to that. But that's me as a baby. I was literally playing basketball before I could walk. So there you go. And so I grew up my whole life wanting to play professional basketball, want to play in the National Basketball Association, want to play in the NBA. And I decided that I was going to get there. And when I was in 5th grade, I told my dad I want to play in the NBA. And he said, you better get to work, son. So I literally practiced every single day, 7 days a week since I was in 5th grade up until last year when I quit basketball and got to that point. So this is kind of what happened. Like I worked really hard and it paid off. So I got a ton of good opportunities. These are a little bit out of order, but like I got to visit Duke. This is Coach K court. This is me at prom. You guys are seeing everything. These are a little bit out of order, but this is me, in California for basketball. I visited Stanford. I have a Stanford acceptance letter in my closet somewhere. I had offers from everywhere. Let's see if we can pull it up. Like just Google me, you know what I mean? Like from back in high school, I had all of these, let's see, I had all of these. I was ranked, I was 135th in the nation. Obviously went to Northwestern, I'll get there, but I had offers from all of these schools: Harvard, Iowa State, Stanford, Wake Forest, Colorado, Marquette, Notre Dame, Wichita State, Vandy. I had offers from all over the country to play basketball. I could have played anywhere I wanted. This is me at, look how mad I am in this picture. So this is me at Duke, at Cameron Indoor Stadium. So the other goal besides the NBA was to play at Duke, to play for Duke. I love Duke. I love JJ Redick. And I'm standing in front of this sign right now, literally pissed off because while I had 30 offers to play everywhere else in the country, one of the schools that didn't want me was Duke. So the only reason I was visiting this school is because Johnny Dawkins at Stanford University at the time had hooked it up because he obviously was at Duke for a long time. And so I was visiting Duke just as like a charity case kind of thing. But it was cool. Like there's the championship trophies. I have a picture. This is Coach K's office. As you can see, it's kind of cool. He can look out over like this is where they all camp out for the Duke games. Stuff like that. Here's my last AAU game. That's my coaches. Love those guys. So that's what happened. I played AAU basketball. I traveled the whole world. I traveled the whole country playing basketball up until through high school. But let's kind of tie this into entrepreneurship here a little bit. Let's kind of work in the entrepreneurship angle because it's kind of been with me the whole time. Honestly, I started a mowing business in 5th grade and I had like 25 yards. I made thousands of dollars. And with that money, I bought a camera, which will also be important later on in this story, just for the record. But I made a ton of money. I made thousands of dollars doing that. And then me and my buddy, here's a picture of us. Look at us. Look at all that money. We literally had this idea. We were going to sell these wristbands at high school football games. They literally said West Des Moines Valley Tigers on them. That was our high school. And we were going to sell these wristbands to high school students and whatever. And we just bought them for cents on the dollar and sold them for $1. And we walked up in the stadium one day. We walked up in the football stadium. And we just sold them, and we made $400 in like an hour. Here we are just laying around with all the money, like so happy. And this was literally the start kind of, I think this was where it all started for me because my buddy was like, oh, we should just go buy some shoes or something. And I said, dude, that money's gone. I already doubled our order and bought more. So I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been reinvesting. So I reinvested all this money back into the business. And we actually like tripled it. We ended up making like $2,000 each or something just on wristbands, which was fun. But I mean, you know, it's just this little entrepreneurship stuff that you do. And so as I go on all these visits, back to the college thing, I'm going on visits, I'm going to pick out my school, right? And I ended up going with Northwestern University. So this is me the day I committed on Northwestern University campus. It's one of the most beautiful campuses in America. There's probably an article about it. See, like I was on ESPN, all this stuff. Like I committed to Northwestern. It was news back then. Like you could just Google it. There I am. Oh, there I'm transferring. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, here I am doing things. I'm thinking I'm doing big things. I'm going to Northwestern, and I end up at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, and I start playing pretty well. Like one of these games I had, people were tweeting like, "Hey there, Kale." Like, look at these people. 3 triples in the first 6 minutes. Kale don't care. Like these are like people. Like I'm just getting blown up. You know what I mean? And like I can show you the clip maybe if I can find it. You guys can watch these highlights some other time, but one of these, it's in here somewhere where I hit this shot. This is against UCLA. I had like 19 against UCLA. But anyway, you guys, I'll link the highlights below if you guys really want to see me play. But I was good. Like I could really hoop, and I'm not trying to say that like I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I could really play, and so I did. But it went south, honestly. I played for, we'll get to this in a second, but I played for 4 head coaches over my college basketball career. So I started off at Northwestern. My coach got fired. Then another coach came who ironically was a Duke coach. And he had come from Duke. His name's Chris Collins. And was, I mean, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on this channel, but just completely, I don't want to say anything, but anyway, I left there after that year and moved on and went back to Drake University, which is at home back in Iowa. And things are getting a little bit out of order here on this document. But anyway, I went back to Drake, and a lot of the highlights are in there from there, but like I played great. So I like if you guys just Googled it, I'm just showing you guys, but like I scored 41 points. Like right here. These are old articles, obviously, a little bit old, but I scored 41 points in the game against Western Kentucky when we beat Western Kentucky in overtime. I was averaging 20 points a game at Drake at one point. Like I was playing really well, and then again things went south. But let's stop in the middle of that journey at Drake. Obviously, I can't tell you guys my whole life story. I don't want this to get boring, but let's tie it back into entrepreneurship again. Okay, so I'm at Drake, and I'm playing the best basketball of my career. I'm having 41 and all this stuff. And at the very same time, I'm still doing crazy entrepreneurship stuff. So this, let me see if I can find the picture that I'm looking for here. Anyway, well, I'll just start with this one. So this is a box from China. So I ordered a hoverboard. You guys know what hoverboards are, right? Like they were a big fad back in the day. And I ordered a hoverboard off of Amazon, and then I decided, wow, well, people like these. Maybe I'll start to sell them. So I ordered a bunch of them. Like here's some of them right here. I started ordering more. I had much better, like they were just literally just Chinese hoverboards. And I had a bunch more. I had better pictures at one point. All my pictures got screwed up when I was trying to make this video. But anyway, I had these things stacked up in my room. I had them up against the wall. I had all this craziness going on, and it was super, like, I was just like, maybe I'll sell a few of these, right? So I tried to sell 20 of them, and I sold 20 of them in like 3 days. And so after that, I rode my hoverboard to class, and I made like $3,000 in like 3 days because people really wanted these hoverboards back then. I thought that was pretty cool. And so I rode it to class. Here's a video, actually.
The Facebook effect really is kind of...
This is my professor. I don't know if you can see, but he's literally on my hoverboard. It's not the best video I've ever taken, but he's literally on one of my hoverboards, and because I rode it to class and he loved it. So he lectured the whole day on this hoverboard, right? He was like, I love this thing, I love it. And so he comes up to me after class and says, hey, come up to my office next week, let's talk about it. Is this a business? I want to know about it. So this was my first like experience with like business consulting and like people trying to help me out. So I go up and talk to this guy and he's like, well, do you want to take it to the next level? And I was like, I don't know, I'm playing Division I basketball right now. I'm averaging 20 points a game. I don't know if I want to mess that up. But at the same time, like I still did it. So maybe I did care a little bit more about entrepreneurship. As you can kind of see the way I was headed with this, but it blew up from there. So he gave me some advice. I started ordering more. Like I started ordering different kinds. Like these ones had like different shapes. They had lights. They played music. And I started selling them out of my dorm room. And then it started getting so big. Like I'm talking like we were riding around campus. People were riding them. I had pictures of all of this, but I think it got lost in the shuffle. But tons of people riding these around campus. It blew up. It was called 515 hoverboards. I ended up getting a store in the mall. And like I should probably make a video about this. Oh, here's the video. This was when I was selling them out of my room. Like I had them all stacked. These are the first 20 that I sold. Anyway, so then I go looking in the mall for a store, and we found this store. Like it's empty right now. Oh, there I had added some stuff, but sorry, these are out of order, guys. But as it went on, this is what it ended up being. So I had all my hoverboards over here. I had a place where people could do test drives in the middle. It was honestly dope. And well, see, that's at the beginning when I didn't have as much up. I don't know where all my good pictures went. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. So yeah, guys, it escalated. I mean, I got a store in the mall. I called it 515 Hoverboards. As you can see, there's places where people can do test drives. Oh, there's me and my woman. We'll get to that in a second. But I had them all up. I had Christmas inventory. There's when we opened. We ended up selling out of everything, and there's me closing the store. So this was all while playing Division I basketball, managing everything, juggling all these different balls. I would go there in the morning, work all day. I had 7 employees, and then I would go to practice at night, and then I would study at night because I was also getting my MBA, and then I would go back and do it all over again. So I don't really sympathize with people as much that like don't like put in the work when they're entrepreneurs, because I have done it where I've been up at 8 a.m., running a business, a full-fledged business in a mall, playing D1 basketball, getting my MBA. I had, other stuff, other obligations too, friends, family. Like I was doing everything. And so that's kind of where I get my work ethic from, I think, and like from my parents, obviously, but like this has really trained me and really brought me up in how I should go with these businesses, you know what I mean? So that goes, and everything's going great. And like I made $75,000 in 42 days, and it was great. I mean, it was awesome. I made a ton of money, but then it all hit the fan again. So Kale Abrahamson transfers from Drake. So long story short, my coach was completely crazy, I guess. Like he got fired the 7 games in after I left, but we were a much better team than we ended up being. We just had really, really terrible coaching, and he basically told me I had to leave. I was his best player, one of his best players for sure, and he told me I should go because I honestly still don't know why. I've never really opened up to any. I mean, I've opened up to my family and stuff, but I don't really care. Like, if you guys want to talk about that on whatever you want to talk about it, go ahead. But yeah, he said I should leave, so I left, and I picked Duquesne University after looking at a bunch of different schools, Arizona State, Pepperdine, 30 other schools. Like I could have went anywhere in the country. Like the chances of me ending up here are very, very slim, but God had a plan, and here I am. Craziness, right? So the crazy story continues. Like I get here and I think everything's going to be cool, and I think I'm going to finally get my basketball dreams going, and I'm going to finally like have a whole season that's successful because I'm not going to get messed up by these crazy coaches, and that doesn't happen. So I break my hand. Here's my hand. I broke it literally in an literally in an exhibition game, just like a normal play. Just broke my hand. Missed 15 games or something. When I got back, the coach had decided to play a freshman over me, So I was 5th-year senior and I didn't really play. And I honestly had I hated basketball. I mean, I've never hated anything more than I hated that season. Like, I hated waking up. I hated going to bed. I hated it. I hated it. And it took all my joy from the game. It took everything I had. Like, I've never been so frustrated. But in the midst of all of that, again, I mean, there was blessings. Like, there were so many blessings. I met this girl. Like, I met the love of my life. Like, these are the only 4 pictures I could pull up for some reason. But, like, she was on the dance team. I was the basketball player. And I know that sounds cliche, but she's literally perfect. She's the love of my life. I proposed to her, like, a year after I met her. And I should have the video up, but I don't because my phone's all jacked up. Sorry, guys. But, like, she was worth all of it. All of it. Every single second of all the torture I went through for basketball, she was worth it. For sure. But so I got her, and I decided that, so I still had a decision to make, right? I got this cutie waiting for me at home, and like, she's perfect. So I decided one more chance to go and visit my best friend. This is him right here. We met at Northwestern. His name's Alex Ola. And I went to visit him in Belgium. This is my buddy Josh. He lives in London. I actually went to London as well. This is me in London. But so I do all that. I go to these places. I go over to Belgium. I check it out with Ola. And the reason I went was because I wanted to see what the professional basketball lifestyle was like. Because even though I'd had such a terrible experience, I still had 5 years of film to work with. I could have easily played professional basketball. I'm 6'8". I could shoot better than most people in the world. I'm not even it's not even exaggerating. Like, I can show you guys film if you want, but I could shoot the living crap out the ball. And I was fast and I could handle it and I was good. So I could have played pro for sure, easily, all over the world. But I went there. I went to Belgium and I sat there with my buddy and we had a great time. Don't get me wrong, we had 3 weeks of like awesome like bro time. But at the same time, I saw his lifestyle. And his lifestyle was a little bit lonely. You know what I mean? Like, all of his teammates were married. He's in a foreign country. I don't speak French, but he spoke French. But still, like, basically his day was 2-a-day practices, come home, watch Netflix, go to sleep. You know, no interaction. I knew within 1 day that I would not be okay doing that. And I had my beautiful woman FaceTiming me from back home. She was all miserable I was gone. And I was just like, I don't know if I can do this for a whole year, much less the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So it was a real big reality check for me, a huge reality check for me. And that's when I decided, like, that I was going to hang it up. And it took me a while to get there. It wasn't like a quick thing. It wasn't something that I decided overnight. But in the end, I said, look, I have more things going for me than just basketball, right? I have more things going for me. So what I did was I buckled down. I got a job at Duquesne University, and I decided to start 3 companies. The first one I started is an Amazon company, and we sell stuff on Amazon. We get it from overseas, just like I got the hoverboards. As you can see, it all kind of connects here. I got the hoverboards from overseas. Now I get my products from overseas. I put them on Amazon. I sell them. You know that if you watch this channel, watch all of our other videos. The second business is this YouTube channel, which is teaching other people how to sell on Amazon. We love mentoring people. We love helping people out. It's more of a, giving back thing than it even is a business, honestly. But it's just so much fun. We're building a huge community here, and you guys know that if you're watching. But for some people that may be watching this just because they know me from basketball, that's what I do on YouTube. And then we also have this company. It's called Honey Badger Boost, which is a listing optimization and photography company. So I'm in the studio right now and I can show you guys a tour at some point, but we do photography, we do listing optimization, and we base it based on Amazon sellers. So check that out if you guys are interested in that. But how did I decide? What am I getting at here with this story? The reason I made this video is because I wanted to show you guys that no matter what happens in life, like, you have a plan, right? Your plan is to play in the NBA, or your plan is to start a business, or your plan is to do this or do that. you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to react to your situations and make hard decisions that that really say screw it to the past, right? Like it still hurts me that I put in that much work playing basketball when I ended up not really using it. I got a free education. I got a free master's degree. Great. But it still kills me that I didn't really get that dream. But I'm using that fuel as fuel to drive me to my next goals, to this entrepreneurship stuff, to building businesses, which is honestly, has kind of been my real passion this whole time. And so that's real. Now I remember why I wanted to make this video. The reason I wanted to make this video is for you to find your why. Find what you are actually doing, what you're doing for. What's the reason behind it? Okay, I'm talking to someone out here. I don't care if this is late in the video. Someone's going to get value out of this. So if you're still watching and you're about to get value out of this, I want you to comment below that you got value out of what I'm about to say right here. Okay, so find your why. So the reason I figured this out after a long time, after a lot of soul searching, the reason that I played basketball those years was not to play in the NBA. Was not because I loved the game. The reason I did it was because I wanted to make a lot of money. And that's the cold hard truth of it. I would always think about, how much money Steph Curry's making, how much money KD's making. I wasn't thinking about like, oh, they got to play against LeBron. You know what I mean? Like there's a little distinction there that's really important. And so when I finally found what I was actually passionate about, which was making money and growing businesses in order to grow, and like I find that fun just to like bring in new sources of income and bring stuff in. I find it's fun for me. It's not about like being the richest guy ever, but it's just it's fun. It's like a game. It's like trying to beat the system. You know what I mean? And that's what business is. That's what entrepreneurship is. And so I finally found what I was supposed to be doing that whole time. And I was doing it on the side. I was selling hoverboards. I was selling wristbands and all that stuff. But God finally sat me down. Like he had to break my hand to do it, right? But he sat me down and said, Kale, you're not supposed to work for someone else your whole life. And think about it. Working for someone else, there's nothing worse than working for someone else when it's working for a basketball coach. Like those guys own you. They freaking own you. And I hated it. I hated it. And I don't want to work for someone else. I mean, it's the last thing I wanted to do. So now I'm free. I work for myself. I make money and I have businesses. And it's just an interesting thing how it all came to be. And I hope someone can take a nugget from that and say, look, like maybe what I'm doing right now isn't what I actually want. It isn't what I actually am born to do, designed to do, like blessed to do. It's just it's just a means to an end. Like if you're only at your job to be promoted because you want to be promoted because you want to make money, well, maybe find a different way to make money. Find a quicker way to make money. Find a better way, like starting an online business like what we teach. There are a ton of different situations, but I just want you guys to focus in on why you're doing what you're doing, because that's how I found that I've been able to find happiness here in Pittsburgh, and I found my woman, and I found my church, and I found all sorts of other things that I can get into in other videos. But if you guys like this, hit the like button below, give me some sort of feedback like, hey, Kale, you're not an idiot for making this video. I don't know. I'm spitballing here at this point, but I wanted to just let you guys in and show you that I'm a real person and the logic behind what I've been doing. So I love you guys. I love the whole KT9 family. If you're new here, I love you. And if you are old here, I love you even more. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.